Lucia Fragoso, and today I'm here with Clyde and Dave. And thank you very much for having this time with me and sharing a little bit of your experience here. So we met each other first online and buying an apartment here. At the time we were not allowed to travel, so we had these first meetings online that I understood what you were looking for, looking in Setúbal. And in fact it was interesting because we did the viewing also online. You were in California, I was in Lisbon, and my colleague was showing the apartment here in Setúbal, the first viewing. For the second viewing I went there. And then for the contract I also was there, and you were still in US.
Right.
So you are here in Setúbal how long now?
In a year and 3 months about. We can't believe how fast time went by. When you walk around, everything was so new when we got here. We know what that is, and we're very happy to be here.
You already know the neighborhood. I've been traveling around Portugal as well.
A lot of travel.
An inspiration also for the Portuguese.
Yes. We traveled here just to see what Portugal was like in 2019. And we didn't know that Setúbal was going to be the place for us back then. We spent one day near where the sculptures of the dolphins are, near the water.
Okay.
That's about all we saw. But we had a friend from San Diego who said, you might want to think about Setúbal. I think I found a good place. So she did a lot of the research already. We took her word for it, and we took a closer look at Setúbal. And it fit a lot of what we liked. We wanted to be close to the big city. So Lisbon is only about, an hour away, closer than an hour away if you have a car. We like to be near the water because we're originally from San Diego, so that was nice. Mainly we wanted to be around really friendly people, and we found that to be the case almost right away.
You have a nice community here.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think it's been easy for you to adapt here, to find friends and understand a little bit of the culture and the country. What do you think?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's easy to meet people. It's easy. People are kind and friendly, so that's easy. The community is great. So, the getting things done in a public office is difficult, but that's difficult everywhere. So it's just a different difficult. So it gets done. It's not the end of the world. It's easy at some level. So
Dave was more of the researcher. He was on the computer all the time looking around for a place for us. We had other countries in mind too that perhaps we would retire to. One by one, Setúbal kind of rose to the top.
Okay.
But he told me back then, he knew that I like to paint and I like to draw. And he said, the Setúbal group on Facebook have a sketching group where you go out in these parts of the city and you sketch what you see. I thought, oh, that sounds good. And he also found that there was the tourist area offices like 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗶, Casa do Turismo. Speed up to today, or last year when we came in, not only their music, but we were like, quality of the music was so fantastic. It's one thing to look online and see that they have concerts, but it was amazing work, and we really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I still remember our online meeting when we had, you were at your office or something, and you had a painting behind, and I couldn't resist and ask, oh, I like your painting. So
Yeah.
It was the first time I saw something that you painted. So sing, and you also write. So now at the moment you are doing an exhibition here. Can you tell a little bit about your experience here?
Yeah, one of the things was, for an artist to have a show, you have to have paintings ready to go. And I had no trouble with that because, again, there was that sketching group. So I would take a sketch and bring it home and finish painting it. And then about a month later, when we had that group meeting again, I had another one. It made me want to create. I got in the habit of painting. So before long, this is only, a year and 3 months since we've been here. And I look at the show that we have at 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗶. I think I've painted about 50 paintings and drawings, and it took me a while to let that sink in. It wasn't until the show was up that I saw all the work that I go, I did all that in 1 year, but it's because I was always inspired. And in San Diego's a beautiful city too, but I was used to seeing the same thing every day. And everything here is new and very inspiring and beautiful. It has a lot more history to it. And that's what I wanted to capture in the paintings. So that all our friends that have moved in from other places, they'll look at a painting and go, I know I've seen that all the time. So they recognize it.
Yeah, you have a lot of variety in what you paint. And for me as Portuguese, what I also like is that I see my country there, and that we have this register even for Setúbal. I think it's a great work that they have. It's a good contribution to the city and to the country.
That feels good coming from someone that's from Portugal.
Oh, yes.
But I want to do more paintings around Lisbon as well. And specifically in Setúbal, before I get to Lisbon, I saw that Setúbal is going through a lot of renovation in the buildings. There's a lot of buildings that have been abandoned for many years and haven't had a lot of attention. As we walk around the city, we see a lot of the scaffolds, so they're painting, they're fixing. And I want to be sort of documenting so that years from now, but see, remember when this building was being fixed? Now look at it.
Yes, that's nice.
So it would be nice to have a show that shows before and after the renovation.
That's very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So I also have to mention that you have been a good inspiration for him because you work remotely. And while you are working, he has also some time to focus on his art. So I found interesting that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
You support each other in your work.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's nice, yeah. So, and it has been very productive, as we see.
It has been productive, right. So now we've been in the process of putting a new house together. And that means that new furniture, it means to create a space that he can work and where I can work. Trying to figure out right now is when you make an oil painting, you need a place to dry it. It takes a while to dry that oil paint. You can't just stack them like watercolors, like this show. So I think what we want to do is have a way to hang some on the walls while they're drying so that there's room to walk through the room.
So it's a house which is also exhibition space, yeah?
Yeah. So
It's to live with an artist is like that, always creative, right?
that's right. And you helped us find 2 places. The first place was more difficult because we bought it without being actually able to walk through it. And again, it was the time up at the pandemic, so that made it more difficult as well too. So we just noticed that it was a beautiful place. It was only 3 minutes from the river, but you just never know how it's going to feel as a home until you live in it.
Yes.
So once we figured that out, it was nice that you helped us find a second place. So we have advice to our friends and people interested in coming to Portugal is it's nice to find a good real estate agent who's knowledgeable. And we got a plus with you because not only were you that, but you got back to us, you're very friendly, your English is good, and you seem to also be interested in the arts.
Yes, very much. So it was a good discovery that you were in this field. So yeah, I appreciate very much. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you did more of the communicating with her in the early times.
I'm the business guy in the family. So. But yeah, I mean, working with you was easy. It was lots of good communication. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything other than that. It was just, I love how we've become friends through this process, and that we have interest in Setúbal and in Lisbon that are not related to buying or selling a house.
Yes.
Because their art or their history or their culture, and I love that.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed you also give tours, and it was nice that you invited us to walk around some of your favorite areas and pointed out the poets and the artists. So I hope you make more tours for us to see too.
Yes. I've been doing in English, and a lot of people interested. And I also happy that a lot of people like the architecture, the art. So it's popular in that way. People appreciate the content of the tour. So I'm happy that it's receiving good feedback. And it's funny because when you went to Lisbon one day, I was thinking, oh, should I go that street? And then I thought, maybe I go this street because it's more beautiful and it's more or less the same. And when I chose the street, I found you there. And you were thinking about see me there. So it was a nice coincidence. It was funny.
I was surprised.
I was very surprised because Lisbon's so big.
Yeah.
Here, one thing I love about 𝗙𝗵𝗶 is every time we go somewhere, we see people that we know. And so I can't go to the store for 5 minutes because I have to say hi to people on the way and it takes longer.
Yeah,
and I
that's
love that.
nice.
Love
yeah.
it. And I was very surprised in Lisbon to see somebody I know.
Yeah, it's just like a small community, even though it's a big area. But the biggest surprise that has made us very happy here is the quality of the friendships that we've made here. There is the community online on Facebook that connected us to a lot of what we learned here. And it's continued to help us stay connected because people say, let's meet here and have a talk, or let's get together and talk about this. And it seems like every time we meet, there are new people.
Yeah.
So I think it's welcoming to the new people as well as for us to make new friends there as well. But we just had a guest that left to go back to the States today, and most people that visit us always say, and we'll see 5 people there and say hello and see our friend, and we'll walk somewhere else and we'll see more friends. So they think we know everybody.
We don't.
Yes.
And we don't.
We don't.
It just feels like it because everywhere we
Well,
go.
but you should, I think you know a lot, and there was no space. A lot of people here.
There was quite a bit. I don't know how many, but it was a lot of people. So I felt very supported, which I hope everyone feels that way here. Something else that's funny, and people in the United States will know this, there's a special kind of grocery store called Trader Joe's that people like because it's sort of international. But the thing about this store is that the people that work there, they know the neighborhood, and when you go in, they say, oh, hi, how are you? They'll give you a hug. So we said, wouldn't it be nice that one day when we're going to the stores and things that we go shopping in, that we have that same thing? And we found that.
And how is your Portuguese going?
A little bit, slowly. But
That's okay. It's very nice that you are learning Portuguese.
It
Me
is.
as a Portuguese, I find very interesting that you have that time and try to learn because everyone speaks English, so sometimes you really don't need it.
Right.
But it's nice that you give that time to learn, and Portuguese always happy with that.
Yeah.
And if they laugh, I think it's because they are not expecting that you speak Portuguese. So it's so nice that you are trying to speak Portuguese. I think that's in most of the cases why we laugh, because, oh, what a surprise.
Yeah.
It's so nice that you speak our language, or at least that you try.
We're trying.
we're definitely trying.
Right. We took the country offers classes. So we took that. It's called A1, A2, the beginning class. And I was a little frustrated just because I think the language is very difficult to me. But in one of the groups that Dave was looking in, there was a group formed by a visitor, an expat, who said, let's meet together and we'll speak with people who speak Portuguese and practice English with them and back and forth. So we both had something to learn. And at that time, there was a young man that I thought I would like him to teach me Portuguese because he said he's a tutor. Dave learned that there's a language group meeting to practice Portuguese and English back and forth with native speakers and English speakers. I think were there other speakers, mainly English speakers, Portuguese speakers.
English.
So one of the young men at the table helped to organize this group, and he said, I'm also a tutor. Well, I kept that in the back of my mind because when I felt like I wasn't learning in my class, I thought I need a tutor. So I called him, and I've been meeting with him every week since, and that's helped a lot. So again, it was the power of internet that helped people get together, and that's helpful in many ways.
What you like to say to people that are watching and maybe in your situation that you recommend?
Portugal is very welcoming of outsiders. I really think in the bigger, they have great motorcycles.
Yeah.
As I was trying to learn about immigration to different countries throughout the world, Portugal really seemed to make it easier than other places to move. And that was...
I didn't know this was.
Okay.
It's cool.
That's fine.
It's a busy alley. Wow. I had no idea.
It's busy.
But that made it attractive to me, at least, as far as just getting, you know, step 1, step 2, step 3. It was really reasonably straightforward. If you think how big of a challenge it is to move to a completely different country, it's really a big deal. So Portugal makes it relatively straightforward and not so difficult. And nothing is permanent. You don't have to stay here, but I think the people who come here feel like it's home and feel that way reasonably quickly.
It pays off to do a little research. People said, what other places did you consider to move to? And it all depends on the individual. So we just said our process. It was clear. We had to be clear in our minds what we were after. And again, we wanted to be near the big city. We wanted to be near a river. We wanted to make new friends. And I think we got all of those and more. The research that we did, I think, we just talked with some people that moved, and I think it was helpful for us. We reflect back on us that we knew what we wanted as far as a place to live. But after we moved, it was, we should have asked this question, we should have asked this question. So I think in talking with you, it was helpful to say, do you consider this? This might not be what you wanted, but here's something that you can look at, even if it wasn't a Zoom call. I think that did help us. So be clear, and if I was going to give any advice to someone, I would say, try to refine what you really want in a place. And it was helpful for us to visit here first to really see if it was right for us. Yeah.
That's the thing. I was going to say, a lot of people in the US, for example, when we have I might get a job offer in another state, and so I'll decide, do I want to move? But it's because of the job. It's not because I don't just show up in another city because it's another city, generally. But people who come to Portugal do that. We come to Portugal or anywhere in the world because we want some adventure, we want something new, something different, and not because there's some other factor that says my company isn't moving to me to Portugal. It's not. That's not what's happening. And so trying to learn as much as you can. We have a friend who's going to move here in January, and he's already taking Portuguese lessons, and he already speaks reasonably well. Things like that. Doing as much as you can in advance to determine, does it feel right? And then let the details work themselves out, because the details are different everywhere anyway, whether it's Setúbal or Braga or wherever in Portugal or any other country. But
Yeah.
Nice. So just to finish, what is a good day for you here in Setúbal? What do you like to do?
Wow. This is partly the advice to people to be prepared for the unexpected, because you'll turn a corner and say, wow, that's amazing. And don't come in with the attitude that it's going to be the same as your home country, because finding the difference and the uniqueness of this place is a lot of the enjoyment that we got out of this place. So we like to just go for walks, and because we find something new when we go for walks, and it's kind of good that we don't have a car, because you see so much more when you go on walks. And so what will we do? We'll probably take another way home so we see something else every time.
There is a community walk that I love going on a few times a week, meeting friends. Coffee is a big deal here in Portugal, and it's wonderful to meet somebody and chat over a cup of coffee and lose an hour or two in that process, and it's just really
Yes,
nice.
not standing. You have to sit down.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it. Yeah, just walking around and seeing what we see. It's just wonderful. The food is good. It's fresh. Markets have fresh produce, fresh fish. You can't beat it. So.
Yep. Thank
It's
you.
very nice. We will see your exhibition a little bit. You'll present it.
Yes.
But thank you very much for your time and for this moment. And I hope that you help also some other people and inspire some other people. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It was
Yeah, thank you.
All right.